Hello, welcome to Geometric Virtual Learning. This is the final lesson on similar shapes, and I've decided to go through some problem-solving questions involving algebra, and this is mainly for those doing higher. In this question, we have a cone of height 3h, and it's cut into two parts to make a smaller cone of height 2h. What is the ratio of volume of the two parts? Before I start, I just want to explain some misconception here. Now, you need to understand that there's a difference between a cone and a cylinder. A cone, it bulges at the base, so as it gets to the base, it gets bigger and bigger. So relationship in terms of every height, in terms of the volume or the surface area, is not a linear relationship. So, knowing that the full height is 3h and the top is 2h and the bottom is 1h doesn't necessarily mean that the ratio of the top to the bottom is going to be 2 and just 1. It's not right. What you need to understand is that you need to have an expression that will also still mean 1 or 1h, because like I said, the relationship of height to the surface area or the volume for cone is not a linear relationship. If we're to be cylinder, because everything about cylinder is just straight upright, is different. So to start this, the ratio of the top we know is 2 height, but the bottom is 1 height or 1h. We need to have an expression to represent 1h. The expression is the full height 3h minus the bit that is cut off, because this also stands for 1 height, so that when we apply the volume effect, we will so see the full effect of the height on the base shape. So note that, don't just use 1, and you know why it cannot be 1. So this is the ratio of height. We want ratio of volume, so we need to change height into volume by cubing each, and because they are all of height, we can use only the numbers. So cube, 2 cube, 3 cube separately, minus 2 cube separately. So you're going to have 8 is to 27 minus 8, and that gives you 8 is to 19. That's the volume, ratio volume, and it makes sense. If you had used 1 here, you end up saying 1 cube is 1, and doesn't make sense that the top volume is 8 and the bottom volume is 1. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So be very careful about it. The height relationship with area is not a linear for cone. That's why we need to use an expression. Second problem solving. We have two right angles, and given that tan E equals tan F, find the value of X. You must show all you're working out. You can approach this different ways. I want to use similar shapes to solve this. Okay. Since tan E is equal to tan F, that is what is given up here. If this equals to that, and they are both right angles, it's obvious that angle A is also equal to angle Q. So that established similarity of shapes, because corresponding angles are equal, and therefore this shape is bigger than that, so it is what? An enlargement of the smaller one. So we can work our scale factor by expressing corresponding ratio sides. So scale factor, the red are one scale factor that we can express, and the blue are also another scale factor we can express. So x over 6x plus 5, that's one scale factor. At the same time, 4x minus 1 over 12x plus 31, that's also another scale factor. You need to be consistent. If you start from this end for one scale factor, you must also start from this end. So we have RS. In my case, I want to start with RS first. So RS equals to BC, then QR equals to AB, the same way. So we have 12x plus 31 over 4x minus 1 equals 6x plus 5 over x. Somebody can also say the opposite. X over 6x plus 5 equals 4x minus 1 over 12x plus 31. They are all the same. All is consistency. You need to be consistent with what you are doing. Now you've got a simple equation, cross multiply. So that will give us 24x squared plus 20x minus 6x minus 5. If you expand this, that's what you're going to have. Then the other side will give you 12x squared plus 31x. You need to be good at the algebra to be able to do this. All I've just done is 4x minus 1 bracket times 6x plus 5 bracket, and I expanded it. That's the result. I can simplify this as well, but I'll leave it here for now. Then I put x outside bracket into bracket 12x plus 31, and I expand it. So you might need to do your own side working to confirm that you got the same as what I've on the screen. Now from here, I have to regroup all to one side and make it into quadratic equation. And if you do the arrangement, that's what you're going to have. 24x squared minus 12x squared will give you 12x squared. You have 20x minus 6x, that will give you 14x. 14x, and you're bringing 31x to take away. So 14 minus 31 is 17. That's why it's my negative 17. That's why we have negative 17x. Then minus 5, all equal to 0. Here, you are supposed to solve quadratic equation, so it's up to you. You can use the formula. You can use completing the square. You can use factorizing if it is possible. I've checked factorizing is possible, so I'm going to use factorizing. 12 times 5 is 60. So to make negative 60, the possible factors are negative 20 and positive 3, and they add up to make negative 17. So this is what I've done here. I'm just going to use my way of solving quadratic equation. So don't get confused with this method. If you know another method of solving, it will still work out. So I factor out 4x from 12x squared minus 20, and I'll have 4x into bracket 3x minus 5. Then I factor out 1, because that's what is common. So at the end, I have 3x minus 5, 3x minus 5 common, and I factored that out also. So this is my quadratic solution. Now to solve for the final answer, 4x plus 1 equals 0, 3x minus 5 equals 0. And when I solve, I cannot get a negative answer for x, so I will ignore this. So the answer will be 3x minus 5 equals 0, and x will be 3 over 5. So x is 3 over 5. And that brings us to the end of, lesson 5. End of lesson 5 for similar shapes. So you have 5 main lessons on similar shapes, all in a sequential form for you to see how it relates. It's best that you watch lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4 before you come to problem solving, because I've been borrowing ideas from previous lessons, and this is typically for higher students. So if you're foundation students, you don't necessarily have to be looking at this. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please share with your friends, and let's make Jua Mega Virtual Learning a wider group of people doing online learning. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks.